Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Lords and Mercenaries podcast. I'm your host, Steven, and with me I've got my co-hosts, Chase.
Hello.
James.
Fire Emblem.
And special guest, the anime connoisseur himself, Ming.
Yokoso, minasan. Yokoso.
For today's episode, we are going to talk about the announcement made on the September 4th, 2019 Direct about Tokyo Mirage Sessions getting a, I want to say updated port?
An encore, man. It's getting an encore.
To the Switch in January. And I'll start this off by saying that only one of us has played the game.
Shame on all your family. Shame.
I don't even have a Wii U, so I don't even technically have a Switch.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get a Wii U either, and James, I think you said that you have the game, you just didn't play it in the midst of all those Switch titles.
Right, so obviously I got it like, you know, a couple years after it had released, but for various reasons, mainly being I didn't have a place I could watch it or play it in the comfort of myself, just having myself. Didn't want people watching me play, you know what I mean?
That's fair. It's not the kind of game that you really want to have to explain to people.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay, listen. I kind of live in it. I accepted my fate. I knew, like, to be fair, I was the same person who bought it day one special edition, so I was there. I was like, you have me sold. How do you want to take my money today? I think I still have the stickers sitting on something that I've used before from that special edition. So, yeah, good stuff. And by the way, the music was absolutely worth. But, side points.
Mm.
So, Ming, first, what was your reaction? And I know we were talking about, you know, the Direct as it was happening. I remember you saying that you were on the train.
Oh, man. So,
when this happened?
So context, I take a bus home, and it's like 2-hour bus ride every day back from work, and I was watching the Nintendo Direct on that bus, and as soon as I heard the music, I'm like, it can't be, and I'm sitting in a bus with my headphones on, can't hear jack, and I'm like, as soon as they actually announced it, I literally jumped up out of my chair on a bus. I was like, yeah, let's go, encore, and people looked at me like, what was going on? Just what's going on?
Yeah.
So
what about you guys? What was your reaction to the announcement itself?
Well, you know, as soon as you see the picture of, like, you know, these idol Fire Emblem, I guess they're not all Fire Emblem characters, but I could tell, like, the characters just by looking at them. I could tell it was FE. It was like, oh my gosh, or it was TMS. It's like, oh my gosh, they did it. Like, I not to say that I had doubts or that I didn't think it was gonna come, but I just didn't know if Atlas felt like they wanted to give it another shot. But I'm glad they did. It's definitely, I haven't played it, but the people who have played it, who are, you know, Fire Emblem / Persona fans and
Shin Megami Tensei
Shin Megami Tensei, there's another game that it's closer to that's like another Shin Megami Tensei spin-off, but
I'm pretty sure it's it is a Shin Megami Tensei spin-off specifically, not a spin-off of one of Shin Megami Tensei's spin-offs.
Yeah.
No, like, it's like the gameplay is based off like another series in Shin Megami Tensei. Yeah. From what those people have played, they said it's a really good game, and don't let the idol culture fool you in that sense.
I will say this. I personally love a lot of Japanese culture. I love the idol culture. I love the Shin Megami Tensei series as a whole. I love Fire Emblem as a whole. So for me, this was like, oh, this is everything. Okay. Yes. How do I just give you money? And I will say, like, truthfully, when you get into the game, it's very surprising the level of depth that they go into this. I will say, coming in as a Fire Emblem fan, you're going to be like, what the fuck am I watching? It is very different.
So, Chase, not having a Wii U like myself, what was your reaction to the announcement?
Well, James wasn't willing to admit to doubt, but I was very willing to admit I doubted with all of my being that we would ever actually get any reaction to this game whatsoever in anything else.
Really? You didn't think
I
so?
did. It didn't sell very well, and it was like a crossover, and those are usually, rare and not really focused on all too much.
Mm-hmm.
And between all that, and there's just so many other great games on the Wii U that still haven't been ported. There's one really great game on the Wii U that hasn't been ported. But I guess there's a couple. Like I said, there's one.
I'm
Maybe
going to talk about that.
101?
Oh, Ming.
Ming, we don't talk about that.
Oh gosh.
My reaction was basically like, okay, I expected them to port over Persona 5, but before the Direct happened, Sony said, like in an interview, that they value Persona 5's exclusivity. So I knew that was most likely not going to happen at all. So I was like, okay, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Interesting. And then I thought to myself, man, once Xenoblade X comes out on the Switch or gets a sequel, all Wii U's become garbage. All right, because almost every Wii U game to this day has either a port or sequel.
At least
or
every
both.
one that matters.
Hey. We don't say those here.
So now that we've talked about our, initial reactions to the announcement, Ming, you are going to have the floor in telling us, what is this game about? How does this merge with Fire Emblem, etc.? So where would you like to start?
Sure. So, effectively, think of this game really as a very Shin Megami Tensei Persona-style game where you have a daytime phase where you're really focusing on your idol and what you're trying to be and growing in your idol's abilities, which then turns into your Fire Emblem character and who you are inside the idolosphere to do combat.
How many Fire Emblem characters, representations were there? In the original, at least.
7, I believe, if I remember correctly.
That sounds right. I mean, well, there's 7 playable, but there's a bunch more that are just enemies.
Yeah, you'll see quite a few. Yeah, Tiki's just everywhere, always. It's great. But yes, the big thing with it was that every idol was looking to go ahead and get to that next level, and inside the Mirage world, they have their Fire Emblem character with them to kind of deal with the world inside of that space. There's a lot of different things there between the company itself, your idol persona, and as well just what are you looking to do. In my opinion, it was a very Shin Megami Tensei, even in some level, kind of Persona-like experience. And I'm sure a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Well, to that point, my friend who, has sung praises of this game to high heavens, says that to him it felt more like Persona and Fire Emblem mix, less Shin Megami Tensei.
You have to expect that since Atlas was the company that actually made this, not IS.
Oh yeah, well, totally. I mean, I understand why. For one, I understand why it's less Fire Emblem, more of their Shin Megami Tensei series, but also it's just kind of surprising that people want the Persona, not the Shin Megami Tensei.
It's a sad truth. Like, I love me some Shin Megami Tensei, like Innocent Sin. We could love it, but I'm just saying this is one of those scenarios where Persona is more approachable, I would say, in this day and age, in terms of how to handle it, and I think they really did a nice job of balancing that. Combat, though, was a whole, I think, other story, because it really mixed, in my opinion, the Shin Megami Tensei style of combat with the Fire Emblem system of different like the weapon triangle, or in this case, it was all messy considering they only did swords, lances, axe, and bows. They only did that, and they had it
No
in
magic?
the old style. Magic was its own problem. Magic was its own problem because that followed more of the Shin Megami Tensei side for weaknesses, whereas for the weapon they really followed the older style of Fire Emblem, where it was the weapon triangle, and then bows were considered just out of the loop, where it was like, oh yeah, you take close damage, you just take more damage. That's it. You don't get to really do anything. But in this case, it was kind of different. They tried to balance it out, and I will say they really did a good job of that. And their big thing was that you had session attacks. Session attacks were like their way to say, oh, you made one good attack, you get to now chain to the next person's attack. And you could drag this on for a while. If you were doing it right, you were chaining like maybe, I would say, a good bit. You were chaining during the whole battle almost to really keep them going. But it made for a really, in my opinion, a really interesting combat system because you almost were looking to trigger your session attacks more than anything. And it kind of like always led you to want to push yourself to put yourself in a better strategy so that you can pull those off.
So how does the gameplay actually work? Because I know very little about like how the battles are done, what the exploration may be like, if there is any. I'm not sure.
So yeah, it was.
How what?
We wish we saw a donut.
I know about the donuts.
It was.
Well,
bike.
Steven doesn't know about the donuts. Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so
Even
confused.
I know about the donuts.
James, enlighten
Steven,
me.
how could you not know about the donuts?
James, enlighten me about the donuts. Do it.
Well, I actually don't know exactly what they do in the game, other than probably make Tiki happy. I know that Tiki likes donuts.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a big thing about collecting donuts inside the Mirage world to bring the Tiki.
Really?
That was
wow.
But yeah, so here's the deal. Combat was in my opinion the strongest point of it. Whenever you went ahead, you got into combat. It was turn-based, and it was the same way as like Persona, where you're looking to go ahead and exploit weaknesses. The same way. Mm-hmm. It was pretty much that you would have your sets of turns, and then your opponent would have them. But the big thing was that you had, because of the weapon triangle, you can actually change what your type of attack was or magic that you're using based upon that. And like I said, session attacks were the idea where you combo as many as you can. And then later you have duo arts, where the idea that two characters would combine together to do one attack. But both of these are really different levels. They really left it very clean, but it was good. But it's very cinematic, I will say. The attacks looked really cinematic, and I loved that about it. It was a very stylistically cool game to play and to watch.
I really like the vibrancy of the colors.
Like even if you ever take a moment to look at the way that some of them the transitions are so good, truthfully. They really like stand out so much, and just there's so much fun that's put into this game. Like the idol culture is really strong in it, and they want it to look like flashy. They want it to look flashy, and they went for that, and I love it for that because it really went ahead and, in my opinion, made it a standout game. Like the design, the way it looked, how fun it was to play. It clearly was always having fun, and in how it looked like. And I think that's what really kind of sold it. It had that style and cool factor to it.
To its credit, like I think that Tokyo Mirage Sessions is one of a very unique game. You don't. Yeah, there are idle games, obviously, but an RPG like this, aside from what Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei are, I guess this is more like we were saying on the Shin Megami Tensei side of things. You don't really have too many games like this, so it is neat to see them bring it back and try to give it new life. And I haven't played it, but personally, I do think that it would deserve like a sequel eventually, depending on the sales. But I think it's shown, I mean, the critics and obviously the praise of the fans show that there is an audience who's interested in that, or at least this type of gameplay. So personally, I would like to see it succeed in that way, so it gets a sequel, but also that Intelligent Systems feel confident to have more crossovers with the Fire Emblem IP. Now, originally, apparently, according to some news articles that I've been reading, this game was originally meant to take the gameplay was it was closer to the Fire Emblem side of things, the tactical battling, and they had it mocked up and everything. But I guess as development went on, they decided, maybe we should go more with the RPG style, like traditional RPG style, and then it switched over to Atlas developing, and they took the reins from there. Now, personally, I think I would really like to see whether, I mean, I would want Intelligent Systems on there, but another studio come in that's not Koei Tecmo, and come in and work together on this like crossover title. I think that'd be amazing, and really interesting to have different unique characters in the grid system like battling, and obviously mix it up. But I think that'd be interesting.
So I will say, like, as someone who loves the first one, and I love everything that it represents and what it does, if I had to critique it for a sequel, I would want it to have a little bit more of that Fire Emblem inspiration, really wearing it on its sleeve, Like, to me, I love the game because it's so focused on this idea of, like, yes, there is a style to it. There is idol culture in it. You have the Mirage world, but that's very Persona. That's not very Fire Emblem. The Fire Emblem parts of it were the characters that came in your Mirage character, and then what your skills and weapon triangle came from. That was really it. That was the connection to Fire Emblem.
To be fair, that's kind of disappointing. Like, as a FE crossover,
Yeah, it's cool. It was cool, but again, the way that it was done, it felt like they could have made an original character set, and I would have been okay with it. It did not have to have Fire Emblem specifically. I appreciate it, yes, and I think it's better for it because it gets to borrow that same kind of focus where it says, oh yeah, we have this system from Fire Emblem, but we also have our own system, and we're really putting them together, and you get the promotion system, which is great from Fire Emblem, but again, I would kind of want to lean more into that tactical strategy gameplay, or at least some amalgamation of it where you bring in that flashy nature of what's currently in the system with that tactical RPG. And maybe it becomes one of those where the tactical part of it is the bigger screen, and then the flash is when you go into it and you see that. And like, I will say, like, Fire Emblem nowadays, especially in Three Houses, it's very cinematic. Every action feels very strong, and it feels really nice to see it animated so well. And I think this, like, Tokyo Mirage Sessions does this really good. It does amazing animations for attacks, and just the whole session, the Idol Spear in Mirage World is great. So seeing that animated and seeing that brought out more maybe in a sequel, and just really injecting that Fire Emblem love just even more so like we had, I think would definitely be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you hit the nail on the head right there. So I guess I haven't played it, but I think bringing in more of the FE aspect would definitely, I mean, not only just please the Fire Emblem fan base, but just also add even more to it. And again, I said it was unique, and I still think it's unique in its own right. But to me, that having that kind of grid-based combat, tied with the flashiness that you were explaining, would set it apart even more. I mean, how many tactical JRPGs are successful nowadays? It's really only Fire Emblem. I wish it'd be more because it's a great genre, but honestly, Fire Emblem is the king, and no one else is close, unfortunately. But I think that perhaps with the Persona / Shin Megami Tensei style that they have in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, with the strategic combat of Fire Emblem, could add another game into that mix of strategic JRPGs. Not to say we have to have them, but it's just nice to have variety. You know what I mean?
So one final main topic that I wanted to pose is, and I'm going to direct this to Chase, and then we'll go around. What I know that the designs of the Fire Emblem characters in TMS are kind of not they don't really resemble the characters too well.
Tiki's about the only one.
the Edge. It's just an army of Navarre. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Chase, if they were to be more faithful to Fire Emblem designs, which characters from any Fire Emblem game, pick 3 or 4?
I mean, there's the characters that I'd want to have, and there's the characters that would realistically happen. Because the way the game is, it's just Elise and Arcanea. And I have a feeling that we're not going to be getting anything from Elebe. We're not going to be getting anything from Fates, thank God.
Hey, what?
I like me some Fates. How dare you?
No. I Chase, just don't set up yourself for disappointment. They could. This is Fates we're talking about. All I'm saying is just get ready for a different skin Camilla. Is all I'm saying.
I think out of all the characters in those 2 games that I most want, number 1 would be Roger, because he's best boy and needs to be involved in everything Sada's involved in, which is cruel. And then probably Kellum, because I made a random joke just when the game was announced to one of my friends that Kellum was actually playable in the original game. It's just that nobody noticed.
Oh god. Oh my god.
You can see him on the box art, see?
Disgusting. Disgusting.
Right in the back. Oh yeah, you're right.
And then if I was going to bring in anyone else, I mean, if anybody knows anything about me playing Fire Emblem Heroes, then I have to say I want Legion in. He's not going to get in. There's no way he's going to bring him in.
No.
But I just love him so much. I would actually love to see the edgy Persona version of Legion. I think that would be cool. Good design.
What about you, James?
I'm going to go to Three Houses just because it's the newest game. But we already know that they're gonna have DLC or costumes based on Three Houses, or at least they have the student Officers Academy uniform.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Actually, I think they specifically said whose uniform it is at some point. Let me go find that.
Oh, did they say who? I missed that. No, I'm fine. I'm fine with that kind of a throwback, which makes you wonder if they would, actually. If they are going to add new Fire Emblem characters. But I guess the question is, who would I like? So from Three Houses, personally, I would love Mercedes and probably either Caspar or Ferdinand.
Good man. Good man.
I like both those guys.
I like it.
Oh, except Ferdinand.
Except Ferdinand. He's a noble, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Oh, yeah, in case it wasn't clear.
His name is Ferdinand von Ayer. You'll never forget that, ever.
In case it wasn't clear in the game when he says it 10,000 times.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. So my last pick is from Tellius, and I gotta say Neffany. I gotta put my girl Neffany in there.
Yeah.
Top Neff. She is my number one. But anyway, That's who I would love to see. Whether or not we actually see them, I actually don't think we'll see any new Fire Emblem characters. We'll just get some costumes and
in Encore. Yeah, well, we'll see.
They may have said something, but we could.
All
What
right.
about you, Ming?
Here's where I stand on this, and it's kind of funny because thinking back on the characters they chose for the original game as it was Awakening and Shadow Dragon, and that's some interesting choices right there, my friends.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Shadow Dragon makes sense. We need to sit down and
course.
talk.
It's the first game.
It's the first game, and Mystery the Emblem is still probably the most popular game in Japan, as far as I'm aware, or at least really up there.
How do you gauge that by chance? Just by sales?
No, pretty much just hearsay, honestly.
Oh,
From what I'm aware, it's super popular over there.
So here's my thing with it. It's just that I personally every time I heard Shadow Dragon, it was looked upon as the black sheep of this side on the west side. That's the problem.
Oh, on the west side.
Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
sold,
Well, the remake was terrible.
Yeah, Shadow Dragon could have been far better.
and that's the problem. So I was very surprised that they
But
brought in.
But the original is the first game. I mean, the original is the first game. That's redundant. But you know what I mean.
And
It's
also,
the original.
if you play New Mystery, you'll understand. New Mystery is so much better in every way.
Agreed, but that's what I mean. Like,
They need to bring that to the west. Then
but
I'll play it.
so here's my deal. If I really wanted characters to come in, I'm an Echoes guy. I gotta bring Almond
Oh,
Celica come
my
in.
boy. Oh, my man. My man. How did I not say that?
Like,
Uh,
I'm just saying, who I could fit in nice, clean, and easy? Almond Celica.
you're right. Almond Celica would be perfect. You're right. Hands down. I'd even throw a May and maybe Bowie. Though Bowie may not be as popular.
I go for May. Imagine May in a idol outfit.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think it fits her character very well.
Yes.
All right.
What was the other one? The Pegasus Knight.
Claire.
Claire. Give me Claire. Okay, sorry. I'll stop now.
One or two more, Ming. You got anything else?
One or two more. Oh. Can always have more. That's never a bad thing.
Well, what do you got?
I personally would love to also, again, this is more of a personal thing. I would love to see Lynn as well come back.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
Yep.
a good one.
For me, that's just a good callback to Fire Emblem in the West. You know?
You know, and if I'm honest, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't try to put Lynn in the original one.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't understand how popular she was because obviously Fire Emblem Heroes hadn't come out yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Like so maybe
Lynn,
they didn't know.
Hector, you know?
Yeah. They didn't understand,
May.
oh crap, people actually like these characters.
Yeah.
What do you mean people in the West play Fire Emblem that's not on 3DS?
I thought they only played Fates and Awakening.
Well, I guess we better ignore Tellius.
Wow.
Well, you know,
Ouch.
to be fair, it's coming. It's gotten a little bit more love.
I'd love to see them. I think considering the style design that they're going for here, I'd love to see those characters reimagined in this Shin Megami Tensei style that they're clearly going for with this game. They really are taking our world of Fire Emblem and bringing it into this darker, idealized look of Shin Megami Tensei. And I kind of like that, truthfully. Like, I always thought their designs, as edgy in some cases as they were, you have examples like, in my opinion, Kata, which I thought she looked amazing inside the game. I thought Tarja was Tarja by herself. Let's go ahead and get it straight. Amazing design with tons of assets. But they really went ahead and in Mirage Sessions they made it very different, as if she almost was like a very pure like sorcerer. So I was like, wow, that's very idolized, and I loved it.
So, I got two. From the most recent game, my girl Hilda.
Oh boy.
Fair.
Oh,
That's
boy.
fair.
Okay.
You've seen her S support picture? It is like the most erotic Fire Emblem has ever gotten. I'll just say it's erotic. That's all I'll say. Like, holy crap.
I'll look it up after we're done. But yeah, my girl Hilda and my girl Mia from Tellius.
I respect it.
I think especially Hilda would work in the same way that almost the same way as I completely forgot her name from Echoes, purple-haired mage. Name
Sonya?
escapes me all of a sudden. Yeah, so those three would be like my choice idol girls, with Nefene close too.
So you said Mia from Echoes?
I said Mia from Tellius, Hilda from Three Houses. Mm-hmm.
Now, I just have like three last things that I kind of want to say. One is about the designs of some of the characters. I think Chrom is a little much. Like, you can't really tell it's Chrom.
That's my problem, because I was talking with Ming before we recorded like 1 or 2 days ago, and I'm like, the problem with this is, with Chrom especially, that does not look like Chrom.
He just kind of becomes a ninja, and I don't get that.
Yeah, I made the Navarre joke earlier, but he actually does look like Navarre.
Right, it's true. I mean, and I don't mind, like, it, because it does kind of give the Shin Megami Tensei Persona vibe. I get that, but at the same time, I don't know. But that's just one. I do like Sita. It looks good. I don't know if it's like her mask thing, or I don't know. I feel like that works with her. So I'm with you, Ming. Like, I think they've done a good job here. I think the one that really just kind of throws me off is Chrom.
I just want them to, if they do add more for a sequel, which is to me a given, I do hope that they kind of lean a little more into the Fire Emblem, but still getting that good
Okay.
mix.
I figured out the uniform stuff for the Three Houses uniform in Encore.
Please, real quick.
Okay, so apparently it's not stated, but it's an assumption that it's Annette's uniform, based on the fact that it changes Momori's hair color to orange, and she uses axes. And apparently someone in Famitsu was talking about Annette also in regards to this game.
Well, she likes to sing.
Oh, I'm so shocked that I completely forgot my waifu of Three Houses, Dorothea.
No.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god.
No.
It would be cool to see her because, again, it makes sense.
I would be remiss if Dorothea did not get a mention.
No.
Oh my goodness. At least it fits. Alright, you get a pass on that one. It fits.
It fits too much. It fits too much.
That's my problem. Yeah.
But you're fair. You're fair. It fits. But no offense to Dorothea. Like, she's sweet, and you read more into her backstory and whatnot. But she's a little too extroverted for my taste. Like, she's getting everybody's business, get too friendly with people. Girl, you don't even know me. Stop it. And then she makes you feel bad for not treating her like a queen or whatever. It's okay. That's it. I'm done. Anyway, she's a good unit though. Very strong. My question was, Steven, you kind of touched on this. Do you think we'll get more units? Did they say that in the trailer?
Oh yeah, they flat out said it.
Oh, they said we'll get more Fire Emblem units?
We're at least getting Tiki as playable.
Yeah, that I saw, and I was like, wait, is that it?
There's also hints that we might be getting Draug.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not gonna be all that many, but I'm sure there'll be like a couple.
Yeah, it's safer to say like, a couple. That's fair.
My question was mainly for like a sequel, right?
I'm trying to wonder, what do you mean? Draug was there.
I mean, yeah, but he wasn't playable in the original, I don't think. He was just an enemy unit.
He's a partner.
He is?
Yeah.
Jacob,
Yeah.
you lied to me.
Like, I know who it is, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck are you talking about?
I know the character that Draug was linked with, but I heard that you weren't able to use Draug in battle, is what I heard.
Oh, then, okay. Then, it's a different thing. When you get down the story, there's a thing there, but I don't want to spoil anyone on it.
I know everything about the good man and all that, but
I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, because go play this.
So the way I took the trailer was that these characters who weren't like playable, quote unquote, are now playable, like Tiki.
give me playable Garnif.
I'm just kind of doubting, or I kind of have my doubts that they'll bring in new ones. I hope they do. It'd be great.
You just instead just go off the assumption that they're just gonna make like the enemies or some of the enemies playable, and that's where they're gonna stop. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they were alluding to in the trailer.
I could believe it. That tends to be a Fire Emblem thing pretty much, so.
Right.
What do you guys have for final thoughts on the announcement of Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore on the Switch?
I just hope this one's better documented than the original game.
Documented. What do you mean by that?
Okay, this is going to go into a whole thing. I'll probably explain later, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I just want
give us cliff notes.
The lines and quotes to be better documented for easier research.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
I do translations for New Mystery. And
all right.
They have quotes in those games from New Mystery characters. So please, give us quotes so we don't have to find every single one hidden in the game by playing it.
Right. Okay. Ming, you got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I love it. Just I'm glad it's coming back. I'm glad it's back for the encore. Just give it to me right now. And to anyone out there, here is my recommendation. Do you like the Persona series? Do you enjoy Shin Megami Tensei? Do you like the idea of Japanese idols and music? I recommend this game. The nature of it will make it so appealing, and I think in some level, if you're moderately interested by it, you should try it. It's not for everyone, and it's in some ways also not completely for the Fire Emblem fans, but I say give it a try. It's really fun to play, it's really fun to watch, and it's really, in my opinion, just a really nice storyline to watch and play through.
That's great. I just kind of echo what Ming said. Like, it's not going to be for everyone. Obviously, the people who complain about too much anime, well, this is not the game for you. At least from what I can tell.
Although, really, it's pretty much what Fire Emblem has become anyway. But that's beside the point.
I disagree with that, but that's okay. This is a little different. Like I said, this is more Persona, in a lot of aspects. But I think there is something to be enjoyed here, even if you're not into the idol culture. I'm definitely not a big fan of Japanese pop idol culture for various reasons. However, I feel like this is a game that's just merely for the fun of it and for a unique experience. And I've heard the gameplay is good. Story, maybe a little cheesy, but you'll have a good time. So I am excited for this. It's going to be my January. And it comes at a good time because we've been ambushed with games, and we're going to continue to be ambushed with games until the end of the year, pretty much. So it kind of come in January when everything is calmed down, and we'll finally have a little bit of time to relax.
And Nintendo's not releasing anything for 6 months.
Well, then March comes along, and that's different.
We got Animal Crossing coming.
Exactly, in March.
January is a pretty good sweet spot, definitely.
Yeah.
Will you be picking up the original just to play a little bit of it since you own it beforehand?
I'd really like to go into games blind.
Okay.
It's kind of my favorite thing to do. So I probably won't pick it up, because if I pick it up and play it on the Wii U, I probably won't want to play it on the Switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess right now it's just a collector's item.
At this point, all I know is that if Encore comes back with another collector's edition, I will be there and it will take my money. That's all I need to know.
Bro, I think I've heard so many good things. I think I will do. I think I will too.
As far as my final thoughts, I've always been like, all right, there are two games, like before this month, it's like there are two games I get a Wii U for. TMS, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now that number is -1. I will be getting Tokyo Mirage Sessions on launch. I will be hopefully enjoying it, and like I said earlier, I hope Xenoblade Chronicles X comes, because then I don't have to buy a Wii U anymore. As far as like how much I'm looking forward to this game, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really too into the source material yet. I haven't played all that much of Persona. I know that Ming is ecstatic because he's a Persona fan.
Woot woot!
But I played a little bit of 5, and that's really my extent of exposure to the series.
Can't wait.
But if none of you have any final comments, I guess we can wrap it up
Okay,
here.
I'm sorry. I got one final comment.
One more? Go ahead.
I remembered what my third thing was. Give me Lucina.
Oh boy.
Give me Lucina.
I'm actually surprised
Why
she
was
didn't
Daddy
make it in the
Crom
original.
here? Yeah, Crom is here, but not Lucina.
Crom is the most boring lord out of that game.
Thank you. I mean, look, he made it to Smash. Whoopi Kaye. He's the most boring lord in the Fire Emblem series in my mind, but whatever. You know, there are a lot of Crom fans, so you know, a lot of the ladies love him. But where's my Lucina? I need my princess. Anyway, I'll shut
Put
up.
Odin in the game. No, just give us Owain.
Oh.
He deserves it.
That's
Don't
all
even
we
make
need.
it like an Idolasphere version of Owain. Just literally put Owain in the game as a person.
It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect.
All right, last chance. Any other comments?
I think we're good.
Go out and buy it. Just go out and buy it, boys. Everyone, please.
All right. Hopefully it'll sell well. Hopefully it'll make a sequel. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up here. If you like listening to mostly Ming and James rant about Tokyo Mirage Sessions,
I just can't shut up.
please-
That's the problem.
Yeah, we noticed.
please like the video if you're watching on YouTube. And please comment below on YouTube to say how much you're not looking forward to this game at all because of the idol culture in Japan.
And by the way, if you go ahead and comment, put a comment of what specifically you want to see if you had to see this in a more style that suits Fire Emblem. What do you want to see in that sequel? I'm curious.
That could be an episode in itself.
Yeah. Sorry, that sounded way too enthusiastic.
And don't forget to subscribe as well. We have, in addition to Lords and Mercenaries, we have the Kakuka Road podcast, where we talk about the Zelda series, Titan Tea Time, where we discuss the most recent chapter of the month for the Attack on Titan manga, and Ming and I next week, we'll have our premiere episode of the Anime Way, where we talk about the seasonal anime every couple weeks. That's all for now. Have a good one, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.